Hello there, and welcome to my fourth match of the season, playing against JNails. After JNails, all I have left is Kazu, who I'm playing tomorrow. So my season will be, my regular season at least, will be wrapped up quite soon. Okay, so I guess it's all here. It's just, a little awkward. Super. I guess draw is kind of bad. And well, Denzo. I don't know if it's worth it to take an apprentice. I'm gonna take on the 4. And just take Necro, or we could take a Nomad Camp. Nomad Camp is honestly not too crazy here. So it's not, I mean, it's not super exciting either. You could take a duplicate in hopes that you maybe use a cursed gold thing to do it, like a double den or something. Maybe you're okay with eating that curse gang there. Op doesn't look that great. I mean, you could get one and change some of your stuff out, but it's not like super good. I don't know what you're really doing besides putting in some dens and then I mean, there are a few things you can kind of build up towards, but they're not. Well, okay. Just sort of how it goes, I guess. We'll have 7. Probably not. Maybe it's worth taking a canal on. Not sure. Obviously, that was quite unlikely, and I mean, relatively unlikely. I guess not quite unlikely. It's overstretching it, but Well, JNails had the much better flip there, excepting that he didn't. I mean, the only bad thing there is that JNails didn't get the trash in his state. But otherwise had quite a nice. I'm gonna try the canal. This is all gonna be a bit of a problem. Oh right, I can play the apprentice. Yeah, that helps. Oh, but then I've done the canal. Yeah. There is that. Maybe not worth it. could have bought I mean, I could take another curse and bought a puka. This is going to probably not work out in my favor. I don't really get buying more coins. I mean, I don't think you need a bunch of plus actions here, frankly, but actually, I think I will take a second necro, but I mean, I guess 2 coins is okay. I don't know. I don't know if they'll canal or not. They've got their estates trash, so it's probably a little more reasonable. This isn't a very good draw. Too bad it's not during my turn, right? I might take a duplicate here. Not really. I don't know. I'm assuming they don't hit 5 unless... I'm assuming they want to buy a den here. I guess I don't know what they have in hand. Really at all. They can have a lot of different things in hand. This was pretty sad. Didn't find any of the necros with the estates, but yeah, so that went about how you'd expect. This is really terrible. Are we gonna trigger on this? I guess we might as well. It's pretty bad, but well, withdrawal was pretty bad. I don't know that buying anything helps me. At this stage, unfortunately. I mean, I could have just played the one apprentice, but I don't think getting another coin matters too much. I could have bought a coin. It's not super exciting to me. The only thing that's nice about what's going on right now is that the board still doesn't have explosive stuff, so his turns will be better, but they won't be like way, way better. I mean, they're quite a bit better, but you know. I don't think it. I think it helps me all right. I mean, I don't want to trigger. Well, I mean, I don't want to trigger. I wonder if they will canal eventually, or if they're just gonna like. I'm not sure it was worth it to trash the silver. I mean, I don't really understand what they have in mind here, but I of course have a bunch of curses, which isn't terribly good. I may take the gold actually. I don't know that I'm gonna hit 5. Nope. Well, I mean, I guess if we'd found the silver, we would have been in a spot. So there was some shot of it. I could have also, of course, discarded the den. That felt bad, but wouldn't have been crazy. I mean, yeah, if we had gotten the silver and we're double denning here, I mean, that would have been something. I'm not sure. I should not hitting 4 here makes this really tough, unfortunately. But so be it. They can almost empty the dens here. Which I guess I would. I mean, you don't have to empty, but I would take 2 dens and then, like, I don't know, gold. Or something like that. 2 golds in a den. I guess I don't know how many dens they have in hand, but flop seems pretty pointless to me, but what do I know? Maybe not pointless, but a little underwhelming. Not bad necessarily. Take a silver. It's not totally clear to me there's like a super great way to get to get extra greening here. I mean, you can duplicate duchies. You can get to double province, but like you won't do it over and over again. You can get there, but I think whatever the situation is, it should be clean enough for JNails. That's really the issue, but is it what is oh whether they're gonna duplicate it? Are they thinking about it? Seems unlikely to be the play to me. Possible? I guess if you think you're gonna mason it into something. You draw one and mason the other. I mean, there's some things you can do with the swap and stuff. I don't know how important it is to do it, but certainly it's not. It's not. I guess you can just go ahead and double. You don't have a whole lot of other building that's gonna really do much for you. You could get puka. You could go like province coin puka maybe. I probably would not have returned my apprentice. This is, of course, just what my deck is. I was gonna say it's terrible. I mean, and it is, but it's just kind of what my deck is at this point. Not a. There's not some. I haven't been unjustly. That wasn't some bad draw necessarily. Maybe my bad draw was just my very first Mason flip. Like, I mean, it was a couple. Like, I got the worst one and he got the best one, so it was. They're kind of. I think if they don't, have the best one and you don't have the worst one, you could have a bad one or whatever. Those two combined was more than my deck can handle in the end. They swap for a puka, which seems like a good play to me. Yeah, like two. Well, they're not like fully drawing deck, but but they don't have to be. Then they play like 2 or 3 dens and then they do it the next turn. It's fine. Whatever. They don't have to. They can single province from here on out and it'll keep pace with what I do. They're not gonna miss province. Sure, it's very unlikely. It's not impossible, but it's quite unlikely. I mean, at some point you just necromancer apprentice something expensive, right? Even if, I mean, you can do a province even, and then it lets you mill one essentially. It's gonna be pretty good. Rising gains 2 necro. Look at all this. See, now look at all this money. This is like a lot of money. And it's mostly useless. And I bottom decked 2 or 3 dens, which is cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I guess I do this. Draw all the treasures and bottom deck 2 or 3 dens. Pretty sad. Just the way it goes. I mean, they had not a great draw either, for whatever it's worth. Not worth enough. Actually, guess I should spy first. I don't even know. Like, I need to. I'm not really sure what in the world. I've had some draws, I'll say that much. I will just say that much. And just apprentice whatever. Probably it's enough for double. I don't know. Double might. They may not get to double. Did forget about Zombie Apprentice a little bit. I don't know if there was a point where that was of interest, but I'm not sure it's true, and it kind of feels like there's a world where if they double here and I stack my deck, I can win. I think it's a bit of a long shot, but it doesn't seem totally crazy that might be possible. I guess now they can probably swap for another Sacred Grove and double or triple. Did he have fields? They didn't really have to play around me that much. They haven't trashed their gold yet, I don't think, so they could farmland and get a little extra that way. Probably double. I don't know, maybe they just triple. I don't know if this is even useful. Well, I know we have a necro. I mean, I think the cards in my deck are better than the cards in my discard, just generally speaking here. Oh, there, they can triple anyway. They could have done whatever they do there is going to win. For sure. This was, I don't know, the reshuffle was not, did not do me any favors. And the way that she, 5-2 would be pretty good here, or 2-5 would be pretty good. 5-2 would be less good, but 2-5 would be quite nice. I think it would ball. Yeah, I mean, knights are probably good enough here to make something happen. Don't know if you may do miser even. Ideally, you just do like band instead of actually buying a miser, I think. But there's various ways in which the 4s are easier to obtain beyond the obvious. And there's also a question of spending your 5s on the knights. Probably am going Menagerie Plaza. I don't really see much point in buying a silver here. Certainly you don't. Certainly you can take an action for one of them. I think most of the time it's fine to take an action on both. I mean, depends a little bit on which 2 you're taking, but here, just because the cheap ones. Especially you're gonna buy Plaza. I don't know why. There are like maybe some hands where you prefer it, but I would just take a Menagerie, right? I mean, you can cheap it. I mean, if they don't collide, then it's just better. If they do collide, I think you probably... There are like some hands where you need to play the Plaza sheep to get to 5, but... Yeah, this is I'm a little tempted to just do the miser off the start here. I'm probably gonna take Plaza. I still think the silver's gotta be wrong, actually. Probably gonna lose Miser here, but that's okay. I'm not sure. They're probably just thinking about their buy, not actually thinking about the discard, because obviously you can just do the discard. doesn't matter. If you don't take Josephine, I mean, at some point they're gonna have to take Josephine. If you don't take it right now, there's always a risk you like reveal Martin and then let them do a ball, which would be somewhat time. You can take a band, I mean, or ball. This is a Plaza Menagerie. I think I'll save the coffer. There is a little bit of something to be said for taking the Vagrant, but well, this was kind of a bad draw. Well, honestly, it was quite bad, but I mean, if we get a Bailey collision here instead of Plaza, then we're in good shape. But they also open off this Menagerie. I'll go ahead and say it. I don't even need. I shouldn't really be tilting at this point. It's a little early for that. This was quite unfortunate. There are just some draws where I get everything. There's some draws where I get everything, and instead I'm gonna get roughly nothing. And then I'm just cycling them, which sucks. This is fine. I mean, this is quite good, actually. But I mean, just, there's not. You can't win. You can't win if your single knight flips copper, you know, and then they run into a activated menagerie. Like you can't win that. So I'm gonna lose this game. There's not really any reason for me not to play the menagerie as menagerie. I'll be able to ball away. Maybe I should have taken another menagerie there. Should be fine. We could take. This makes me happy. I don't know if it'll be enough, but it makes me happy. I don't really get the second. I mean, I'll get it. I don't care. Okay. I don't know that the buy is doing anything for me yet. I mean, we could get... How much money could we get max here? Okay. Is their turns actually that bad? They must have not an activation. That's weird, though. I don't know. Was it really over? I will take it. I thought I mean, I didn't think I was losing at that stage, but I did like 2 turns before, so I don't really know. Maybe I just had a completely wrong read on the board state, or the game state rather. I would say if the 5s were like trashing kind of stuff, you'd be just probably all over just top decking an Overlord, but just to play Legionnaire, I mean, it's like a rapid debt payoff thing, I guess, but it's not a particularly good thing otherwise. And the other stuff going on. I mean, you can start cursing more quickly, I suppose. That's the only real upside. Maybe that's good enough. A little weird. I don't know how any of this should work. Because the decks kind of don't run. There's a couple of things you can do. I guess more than a couple. There's like a few things you can do with respect to draw. But they're all a little bit awkward. Truth be told. I mean, if you just get to a point where you got a bunch of alchemists on top, that's one thing. And I mean, you can do Hamlet Curse Village stuff, and that may synergize a little bit into doing Crossroads stuff. It's not crazy. This is quite weird. But the curse split, I mean, we will probably have time to run the curses, even if you're unassisted. It doesn't mean that like the buy here is necessarily Overlord or top deck Overlord or whatever. In fact, you probably wouldn't top deck it. But Crossroads plays nicely with the Alchemists. And we may end up with a pretty quick pile out on some stuff. I mean, the fastest thing if you draw really well will be like Curse Village stuff, but you could also just have Curse Village, Hamlet, Inventor. Like that stuff can just pile out really quickly, but there's also a real chance of whiffing turns like really badly. But if I mean it's a good deck. I mean, and it would give you probably the most pile threat quickly. Whether that's good enough, I don't know. It's not clear to me. That's interesting. This is actually interesting. I didn't really consider that though. It's maybe there's something there. Obviously the Crossroads here is not doing a whole lot. So you have to kind of believe the Crossroads immediately is not doing a whole lot. There's some chance it draws two, but so we have to figure out now if we want which route we want to go on this stuff. That isn't clear to me that that was correct either. I'm just doing it. If you think the piles are gonna run, there's suddenly and it certainly looks possible that they can. Not terrible to have the defiled shrine stuff. Whether that'll be good enough against the... I mean, JNails is building the draw to X stuff, which is quick. They may top deck and they may go like Hamlet. They may, well, you can't. You could go Traveling Fair and go like Hamlet, Inventor, Overlord. Top decked. That might be good. That could be okay. JNails is always, the deck will have a... I guess the thing is the deck can do a kickoff, right? The opening hand isn't really an issue because of Traveling Fair. But you can still kick that off into a hand of 5 coppers and a curse or whatever, you know, in the estates. So you don't really know that you're gonna... I mean, if that stuff is bottom decked or enough, you get enough of the Hamlet Curse Villages that you can play several Inventors, you probably look good, but there's some problems potentially. They're just going really hard on the Hamlets, which I guess is fine. Okay, we bottom decked the potion, which is pretty unfortunate. But what can you do? You also can't gain in play with this deck, which is always a bit of a downside of Inventor. I mean, it weakens Inventor considerably if you can't gain and play it. Having not gained a... Having not gained a Alchemist, I'm almost willing to just like... Well, that was probably okay for, you know. They also can't set themselves up if they're in debt. So that's not super good. I don't know, we empty the curses in time. I mean, I can just take the Inventors for the sake of having Inventors. So we can't quite get to buy... Well, we could buy a... We could buy an Overlord. Isn't crazy, actually. I forgot the order of that stuff to do the vineyard. So my theory is basically just maybe we can pile this out. I don't know if it works, but They probably will have time to like get a potion or two. I might get a window where I can empty the curses of Hamlet. That's pretty unlikely. It's not like I'm chaining stuff together. It's a little hard for JNails here though to figure out the gains, I think. I don't know how much money they'll have either. Okay, so that wasn't too scary. What do I need to lower? Where my vineyard went up. I mean, what puts pressure on them? Duchies? I don't know about that. Maybe it was estates. If I had debt paid off and I was gaining 5 estates here, that would be different. Oh, well, that's okay, actually. Not terrible anyway. Not that it's good, but... Are they gonna get another potion? I would probably go 2 potions. I would think about it anyway. There's always like a world, I think, where they just draw enough stuff that they can pile something out. Pile duchies out or something. I don't think that's... I think there's like real possibilities of that happening at different points. They have their debt paid off now and they can buy estates. The estate hamlet thing doesn't quite work, but they're not so far away from it. Miserable doesn't help. I don't actually know why they're lowering those. I just don't know what they come out here in this shuffle with. They still have a shot at winning now, I think. There is a world where they get diluted though, and then I think it's kind of hard. Well, winning would be hard. Obviously, they can't win here. You could go province duchy, I guess. I mean, if you're feeling really greedy, I guess you could. I don't know. 5 duchy. 5 duchy seems pretty risky. It does give you points lead. And I have debt. So I would have to empty quite some stuff. I mean, I think, well, I don't know how their shuffle is, honestly. It must have some inventors in Cursed Villages and Overlords, I know, right? It's not all in play. So there must be some of that stuff. There must be an Overlord. There must be a couple inventors. I don't know if I got 3 or 4. So there's 2 or 3 inventors in their shuffle. And then there are some Cursed Villages. Along with a bunch of crud. Fortunately, they didn't, I guess, find the potion. Unless it's the card they have in hand and they just slow rolling a little bit. I don't know. I don't think they need to lower. I would probably just try to make up some of the points and just do like Province Duchy. You can buy. I mean, they may feel like they need to top deck some stuff, but that's pretty risky too. It's better. They are going to top deck a little bit. What's better for draw order here? Cursed Village into Crossroads or Crossroads Inventor than Cursed Village? In terms of the number of cards you see. Well, we'll get this here next. It depends a little bit on the top decks, of course. Well, not a little bit. Depends quite a bit on the top decks. By 2 Crossroads. Okay. Maybe this was just always wrong. Well, if we had drawn another inventor, then it's a little different. Probably we're just losing off rip here. I don't know if the Hamlet pushes the points up or not. Or the Crossroads, I guess, is the real question. Haven't been paying attention to that at all. There's no way I'm gonna figure it out either. I mean, if they draw here too, they're gonna pile out. I don't think I can lower the Hamlets. That was not it. Guess they must have a curse village or an overlord with like an inventor, and they're trying, or maybe it's overlord plus curse village, and they're trying to figure out what they can do or what they need to try to do here. I mean, the easiest thing points wise for them is to try and do the duchies. I mean, you wouldn't discard a copper unless you had some of the draw up stuff. There are like some worlds where I think buying the crossroads gives them a pile out, but there aren't necessarily a lot of them. They should be fine. Like they do double inventor now. I mean, if you go Hamlet, Duchy, I mean, there's a little bit of risk. I don't know that there is actually. There may be a guaranteed inventor still in the bottom. So if that's the case, then you just have to have $2. Maybe that's not guaranteed. I don't know. It must not have been guaranteed, otherwise you would play it the way I described. I assuming there's not just like a trivial finish the duchy pile out. I mean, it may be trivial now in hand, I don't know. Was that all their buys, or did they have to have the crossroads I bought to make that possible? They had $2, so they could have. Wasn't an overlord unplayed, or did I miss something? That'd be pretty funny if my crossroad actually did it, but I think there were other ways. We'll have to check at the end, but my guess is that it was possible other ways. We'll look at the game from their perspective. And I don't know what you do here. You can try Taxtorium, I guess. Not super exciting, but it kind of works. Does Taxtorium still hit 8 if you Cathedral? 5-2 is potentially a little annoying here. So you go Tactician, you have 10 cards. You trash 1. No, it doesn't work right, because you need a Vault would work, but Vault would give you the card you need. But Storeroom, you go to 10, and then the Storeroom already has. I guess Storm doesn't work, period. So maybe Vault doesn't even work with Cathedral. Right, you get to 11 cards, you discard 8 for the 8. You have to play Tactician and discard a card, so that's 2, so that's 10. Yeah, so yeah, Storm doesn't even work for or Vault doesn't even work with the Cathedral. Unless you have like a market or something, I guess, a peddler or something equivalent. Plus coin on Vault, plus card on Vault. You can do Monkey, but then you're looking at village issues. And I don't know what you're doing here. Pretty strange board. Five two, you could at least just go Cathedral Lackeys, and that might be okay. Giant could potentially be a little annoying. I mean, you could open Crypt. I don't know why you would, but I don't know what this storeroom is for. I guess you can do Menage storeroom tech in it. Clean. It's not really that, like, you keep, what do you, so you place, you go 10 and you storeroom down. No, that's not enough cards because you can only still generate 7 off. You'd have to hold Menagerie and Tactician for it to be guaranteed. Have any way of knowing that you could redraw the... Of course. I don't know what the Cathedral skip is for specifically. It's a little bit beyond me, but apparently I'm just gonna buy lackeys. I'm not confused, right? The storm stuff doesn't actually work, or am I just way off base? I mean, you can play some cards with it, I suppose, but I don't know to what end. I guess if you crypt some stuff, that could give you a card. I don't know. What if they giant your storeroom? I mean, if you crypt stuff, then you're just like running into an issue of it. Does your deck even have enough cards in it? I don't get to trash estates very often here, apparently. Like, what is this? I don't follow, but what do I know? Can't hit. Six. These were bad draws. I don't know what else to say about it. Yeah. Take that, JNails. Eat your heart out. I could have thought about buying a crypt myself somewhere along here. When did they buy a storyteller? They were lucky even to have just found the tactician off just, you know, no draw. They're just gonna buy another lackey. I don't super understand what I'm doing. I could trash lackeys, buy lackeys. It's like that, or buy menagerie or guide or something. Probably buy lackeys. So then if they're gonna play the crypt, they can't tactician now. Okay, that's good. How much is this? Give me 5? Not quite enough there. The giant stuff isn't working for good. How much money do they make off this kind of thing? I think 10. Their advantage just being that they hit probably every turn now. I don't know. How much did they set aside with crypt? Okay. Probably for a while they hit. Unless I giant their tactician or something. There's not really much build. I mean, they might as well province lackeys or whatever. They use Storm for draw. I didn't not Storm, Storyteller. Honestly didn't really see Storyteller. But you have to play a silver with it to get anything out of it. Which they can probably do. I don't know if my draws have been good or bad. Well, I don't like, I guess I mean in the middle. I think in the beginning they were pretty bad. Like for sure. They still have some like sequence stuff, right? Because if they don't find, they're still susceptible to some sequence stuff anyway with Storyteller. Not that they're necessarily super susceptible to it, but does this get them to see? This still isn't even double. It's not even province duchy. So you can get $12. You can double at the end. I don't think they can triple at the end. They can double at the end. I don't think they can. Does the story? I guess it helps with the sequencing a little bit. This isn't good. I guess the good thing about their deck is that it does hold duchies pretty well. Getting to 15 would be pretty useful for JNails. This is quite sad, of course. I just have to trash gold and buy. I guess I buy a silver. Is this even less money than the last time? It's pretty weird. They're gonna go like double duchy. Okay, let's do the bronze now. This sucks. I could go keep gold and just buy duchy. What do we look at if they get to? I can still whiff here, right? If the giant bottomed, I don't even know, what do I have? There's just one province. If the giant bottom decks, it'll whiff. If it doesn't, I think it's guaranteed, but this is pretty rough. I don't know, can they double here or even get to... They don't get a whole lot regardless. This gets it back to province duchy. So then I just lose. Well, it depends on the giant hit. A little bit. Well, it would have had to be a duchy. Right. That wouldn't have even worked, actually. I think I just play and see if they miss the sequence. If they bottom deck storytellers. I mean, I don't have any other outs at this stage anyway. Just see if they draw the golds and the storytellers at the front or not. Or draw the stuff in the right order. Yeah, like that'll be sufficient. I'm assuming. It feels pretty safe to assume. I I mean, as long as you have a silver or whatever, I'm sure either one was 100% a guaranteed win. They can. Why are they? Whatever. It's like. Anyway. I did not see Storyteller, and that was a bit of a. I mean, I don't know. 5-2 is awful. I think they cleanly outplayed me, but I also was a little sad about some of my draws. What do you do here? I don't know what you do here. The gains are kind of not there, but the all VP is. So you'd worry a little bit about not building. And there's some decent, I mean, Tormentor is okay attack. The gains are definitely not all here. Everything else is here, but I mean, you can counter him, of course. The village is awkward. None of this to say that it might not be worth building a fair amount. It's just going to be maybe a bit weird. It's like, whatever. These are the boards that I'm like definitely I don't know that I'm the worst at it, but it's just middling engines. I'm not always kind of confused about because there's a lot of stuff here that can be used to basically buy the provinces quite quickly. It's just there's just a lot of other stuff happening, so I don't know why I bought a sauna. I honestly don't. Every card here is usable, and I just don't know what deck I want to build. They still haven't found their treasure. They buy a council room. This feels so weird to me. I guess is my broken record for today. Didn't find an estate here. That was pretty bad. Okay. I probably won't miss province, but my hope is just that actions are too much of a pain here. Otherwise, I'm gonna super lose. That's all I can. That's all I can somewhat hope for. The second council room, it looks so strange to me, but Okay. Their deck won't also be particularly good at holding duchies, which it will need to do. I don't know. I don't know what the or. I don't know if I do go to exact 8 or what here. Or if I do, if I keep the coppers. What do the coppers even work with? They only work if you have the 2 golds. So I probably should have just trashed them before. I mean, that's not nothing, but I'm not super sure. How much money do they even have? So they can't play treasure and distant lands. Yeah, this is like... The village is not there. No, I have 4 turns to score. I mean, they can stop playing the council rooms at some point, but... They bought 2 hideouts. They don't have any money, right? They buy the hideouts just so they can play the distant lands. And then, what was their money? The money just went down. I'm not sure exact date was the play for me, but I'm a little surprised they never got a Tormentor. One council room, and this is already. You can buy a hunting grounds. That gives you a lot of trashes. Should I trash a province? Probably don't need to do that. So I have, what, a 2/3 shot here on this turn. I guess if I had trashed a province, it would have been guaranteed. It's still just too many points. And just buy a gold or whatever. Didn't even have enough to do duchy. Or double distant lands, either one. All right. Last one. Try to make it to a 3/3. Don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. Do you like Caravan Silver? I don't know if Workshop's actually worth it. Trying to get Lost Arts on Werewolf. Silver is okay too. I don't think. You could try Noble Brigand. I don't know if that's the play, but you could try it if they open silver. I mean, your choices here are like Caravans, Silver. I don't think Workshops just to get Caravans is worth the lower chance of hitting 5 on the opening. I'm not sure it's worth it getting one ever. to be honest, but it's not crazy. They buy caravan. Yeah. It's possible. I mean, certainly if you draw turn 4, you're very happy. Not turn, yeah, no, turn 3, I mean. You might be happy with drawing a turn 4 too, depending on how it's all went. I think I'm going to do silver, silver. I think Butcher or Werewolf and I will look really nice. I don't think the workshop is correct actually. Though of course they're fine. I think I buy nothing as JNails since I've already hit 5. Maybe buy silver. Just buying a changeling, okay. It's not crazy, but they buy highway. Sort of a weird buy from me, but I bottom decked my reshuffle cards, so what can you do? We draw the werewolves at the top, we'll be okay. This many butchers is not that good. This many, I don't know. We gotta find the werewolves. We will at some point want to have some other stuff. So we can put this guy on top. Buy a highwayman. You should be ahead now. I don't know by how much, but at some point we'll be able to play the werewolves for their night, as long as we have like highwaymen down or one of the werewolves up. There's so many butchers. 3 butchers was just way too many butchers. But the changelings were also like early, I think. We'll get some more of this stuff once we've ran more of the werewolves down, but probably changeling for a bandit camp. Okay. They're just buying. Okay. Yes, we'll just get another changeling here. Do we want to attack or do we want to top deck? I think we're gonna see 4 cards. We have to look out a little bit for pilouts, but I'll go ahead and buy a green card here. Buy a province here. This is sort of assuming I won't have a 3 pile, but they won't be so far from it. Should we do triple or we do... Surely we can just do the attacks. Okay, well, diluted didn't mean much there, but... Oh, they didn't even have a... They didn't even have a... have a highwayman down. They still don't have a highwayman down. I did get miserable, so that's kind of funny. Well, if I hadn't gotten miserable, we could win now. Since we did, we're probably going to need to go. What are we going to need to do here? This will be a little weird, right? Because, I mean, the changeling, I have 4 gains with the changeling chains, but can't actually. So maybe this workshop should have just been a changeling. I thought there was some 3-pile threat for whatever reason, but. They're holding 3 changelings. I don't think I have a way of winning here. I don't know that lowering is to my advantage. I can go. Or is there a way to do it with the haunted castle? With the small castle? Because the small castle is 2 gains potentially. Or the haunted, I guess. So we can get. If we get a small castle, then trash it for haunted gold. Gold can give us a changeling. We'd still have 1 butcher play to get another werewolf. Workshop for a caravan. That should work, right? Oh, but I have to play the small castle. I won't have the actions. Never mind, that doesn't work. I mean, something like that may still be worth doing, but. Guess we could get opulent and sprawling. That feels risky too. Then we're risking a castle pile out thing, aren't we? We may be risking that anyway. May have mucked that up. Not sure. That's probably... if I'd known it was going to locust a copper, I could have skipped all this rigmarole and... I just don't have the draw. Okay. So now the pile out should be pretty straightforward. Okay. What was the game I wanted to check? And what did I want to even check? Oh, it was the it was game 1, I think. And it was the thing about his turn. Never mind, it was not game 1. It was game 2. I won game 2. Did I just copy the wrong game? And this was game 1. Maybe it was game 3. Let me check it. Port the... What am I doing? What am I doing? Right, but I want to be JNails. Was it game 3? Okay, it was game 3. The place where I wanted to check... well, they're out of buys now, so they needed that for that pile out. But the question is whether there was a... other ways of making it happen. Like here, if you're here, I'm not sure exactly what's left in... oh, you can't even play it as an inventor. It has to be in the pile. I'm stupid. Probably my crossroads buy did make it possible. I don't know what kind of... so they played Legionary, and then they did this, and then they invented, and this gave them... wait, this is already enough. Okay, they have an extra buy. They must have bought an estate or something in the real game. That's what I missed. So they did have an extra buy. So my Crossroads didn't do it. Well, that's a relief. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, and thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.